sold chocolates and caramel-covered apples at a sweet shop, assisted a wedding photographer, managed the office of a psychology clinic, sold encyclopedias over a phone, and was an intern at the corporate offices of Mary Kay Cosmetics and the retail chain Color Tile. As for all the money I earned, I saved almost every single penny. After college, I took a job working in the marketing department of the Bombay Company and went on to receive my master's degree in business administration from Texas Christian University. By the time I had my MBA, I was more than ready to move on to the real world of business. I launched my career right before the height of the internet boom, and full of ambition, focused my aspirations on the technology industry. I was fascinated with the technology sector because it attracted really smart people, the environment was extremely fast-paced, and most companies paid extremely well. While you don't have to care a thing about technology to get great tips from What It Takes, you may want to know about my work background so you understand the context in which I formed the advice and ideas in these pages. I was not and never will be a techie. I can't install complex programs or design any type of network architecture. And when it comes to developing software applications, I'm totally clueless. But I have served as both a project manager and an account director supervising large customer engagements and overseeing many complex multi-million-dollar software implementations. Essentially, my roles have always been to serve as the liaison between the software provider, my company, and the customer. Because business software is complicated and customized to each client's needs, my job is to manage a barrage of changes, problems, and yes, a lot of bitching from all parties. I've often described customer management work as a juggling act. You must clearly communicate information to everyone, from computer developers to CEOs. You must assess client requirements and recommend appropriate solutions, analyze business processes and translate them into technical requirements, build long-term timelines, and manage work closely to ensure teams meet deadlines, evaluate risks and bring up sticky issues. You hire, manage, and allocate staff, ensure long-term customer satisfaction, upsell new solutions to accounts, and maintain long-term relationships with each customer. All told, I've worked on close to 50 projects with companies ranging in size from startups to the likes of IBM, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Lockheed Martin, Eastman Chemical, Columbia Healthcare, Goldman Sachs, Accenture, Bain & Company, EDS, and Bell South, to name a few. The assignments have taken me to Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City, Boston, Atlanta, Nashville, Dallas, and cities throughout Europe. My first job out of graduate school was as a business analyst and product manager with Sabre in its leisure marketing department based in Dallas-Fort Worth. Sabre is best known for its global distribution company, which enables travel agents to book air, car, hotel, cruise, and tour reservations electronically. During my first year at Sabre, I analyzed travel booking trends for tours and managed my department's budget. Eventually, I transferred within Sabre to the East Coast and began working with the company's hot internet startup division, Sabre Business Travel Solutions, helping clients build web-based travel systems so corporate travelers could book their own travel over the internet. It was 1997 and the so-called internet economy was heating up, and so was my own internet fever. After 2 years at Sabre, I left to join a startup company called Commerce One. Over the next few years, Commerce One expanded rapidly, went public, and became one of the most influential builders of online marketplaces, also known as trade exchanges. Our software solutions linked buyers and suppliers into online trading communities so companies in the same industry could buy and sell supplies through one common hub. Between 2000 and 2001, Commerce One was one of the Internet's highest flyers. As Internet companies started to collapse in 2001, Commerce One unfortunately also suffered, and by 2003 I had survived more than 8 rounds of layoffs. Eventually, I decided to leave the company and began working at Between Markets, an Austin-based startup whose supply chain software let companies better manage their product distribution and fulfillment systems. Working in this 30-person company, I was the sole liaison between customers and the company's technology development team. I also managed the software implementation for Between Markets' first large corporate customer. Then, on a hot summer day last June, I was driving to Dallas-Fort Worth to visit my family when a girlfriend called my cell phone and told me that she had heard auditions were being held in Dallas for a reality show called The Apprentice. I'd never heard of the show, and I rarely watch television, but the show's premise, Survivor for business people, had my name all over it. The next thing I knew, I was living in a suite at Trump Tower with 15 strangers, and my life took an amazing professional turn. Thanks to Mark Burnett Productions and Donald Trump, I had a rare opportunity to showcase my business acumen and professional skills on a national platform. What it takes is not about The Apprentice, but The Apprentice is all about what it takes. What it takes. From my days managing multi-million-dollar software projects to selling $20 glasses of lemonade on The Apprentice, and from playing with boys on my block to working in male-dominated industries and offices, I have become convinced that the secret to moving up and getting what you want at work is not about being the smartest person or the hardest worker. It's about how well we communicate, whether we take on challenges and risks, and to what degree we take control over our own working lives. Women do not yet rule the business world, and we still have to fight if we want to play with those who do. It does not take a man or male traits to be successful in business. It takes a gutsy, confident, graceful woman who employs empowering strategies to move up at work. Work it, baby. Understand the value of networking. There was a time earlier in my career when I assumed that if I simply worked hard, kept my head down, and stayed out of office politics, I'd get ahead. I believed, as many women do, that my effort and talent would speak for themselves. Promotions and raises would steadily come my way as my boss saw the fruits of my labor. So I spent most days hunkered down in my cube or working diligently at client sites. Forget about going to lunch with colleagues or spending a few minutes at the beginning of my day and have coffee in the break room. I was way too busy writing proposals, updating project plans, and creating detailed PowerPoint presentations. As time passed, I began to notice an annoying little phenomenon. The men around me were going to lunch. They were leaving early to go golf, and they were yakking in the boss's office about the latest football scores. More annoying still, they certainly didn't seem to be suffering professionally because of it. As for most of the women around me, well, the few who existed in the predominantly male technology environment where I worked, well, they operated more like I did, and they too seemed to be working harder, or at least longer than most of the men. We all seem to harbor the same, quote, "if I don't do it, it won't get done" attitude. We were always so focused on the work itself and disappeared into our own little worlds to churn out the best possible results. Yes, we did emerge triumphant, expectations met, but there was one big mistake we all made. We were confident that our work, in and of itself, was the single driver to boost us up the career ladder. But we were wrong. We were suckers. What I realized is that moving up is not just about the work I did, but also about whom you know and who knows what you're doing. In other words, women need to develop a network of smart, influential people who are familiar with their skills and accomplishments, provide career advice, and alert them to professional opportunities. Building this network requires not just getting out of your office, but adjusting your communication style and channels, how you express yourself and to whom, so that you connect with and impress the most influential people, those who can promote you, approve projects, listen to and act on your ideas, and accommodate your requests. Some call such deliberate behavior politicking, and they might be right, but it's not a bad thing. Networking is not a social side activity, but a conscious effort to connect with people who can, in a variety of ways, assist your career. Some of you are probably rolling your eyes at the mere notion of playing the networking game. Perhaps you despise the concept and think networking and politicking are simply insincere, flirtatious, brown-nosing, two-faced behaviors. After all, a woman's work and talent should stand on their own. Or perhaps you already know you should be networking but have struggled with just how to initiate relationships. Whether you deem yourself above networking or simply confused by it, just think of networking